How do you explain difficult things to children? Like, do you say God is punishing us? Do you say God is mad at us? How do you do it? When it's easy for us to talk about good things because we say they're blessings. And then now with the COVID, what do you say? Do you say that God is just, correcting us? I like to use the example of the flood and also the example from Josefina. The flood is the example that shows us how it was worldwide. And the reason for this flood was that the people had become wicked. Wickedness means basically that people lose reverence for one another. They lose the sense of the sacredness of human life and the life of all the plants and the animals on our planet. So what God does in the flood is he says, I'm going to wipe clean the earth, and then the people who come back from it are supposed to repent. And the same thing happens again and again in Israel's history. The biblical people understand that after a tragedy, one of their responses is to repent. With Josefina, I found it so fascinating just listening to her as she talked about her birthmark and the adversity that she faced in life. She asked her mom, where did this come from? And her mom said, when you were in my womb, I was very hungry and I got jealous and I saw this meat hanging outside of a person's house drying up, and I wanted to grab that meat and take it for myself. And so my jealousy got imprinted on you when you were in the womb. And Josefina responded, oh, okay, that's how it happened. And that's the thing that amazed me, how Josefina could accept an explanation that her mom somehow made a mistake of being jealous about someone else's food and that she was the one going to carry it. I think what was beyond that explanation was that Josefina never doubted her mom's love, and that the explanation simply served to say that there was a reason behind this particular event in her life that marked her event. So how are we going to respond to the COVID? Do we just say bad stuff happens? That explanation has nothing to do with the Bible. There's no recorded event where the people of God said that just bad stuff happens. No, they always search for a reason. And often enough, the reason was because God wanted to correct us, human beings. And that did not take away from God being a loving Father. It just was the other side of the coin, that God is both a loving Father, a loving God, a forgiving God, and also a God who demands to be respected for his holiness. The identity of people of God makes demands. And if we are God's people, it makes demands. We're not supposed to have idols. And often enough, the idols are what get us into trouble and which call forth from God a response. Often, it's not the response we like, or the response that we anticipate. This weekend, Jesus will tell us that he's come so that we may have life in abundance. When we face floods, like a viral flood or like the flood at the beginning of creation, it seems like the purpose is anything but having a more abundant life. We can get the idea that life is being restricted. But that's precisely what we're offered in our faith, to believe that oftentimes the initial appearances are just not correct. In the long term, the human family is being given an opportunity for a more abundant life. Here is a song that reflects that optimism, that we are being given a chance for a more abundant life. For to those who love God, who are called in His plan, everything works out for good. And God Himself chose them to bear the likeness of His Son, that they might be the first of many, many brothers. Who is able to condemn? Only Christ who died for us, Christ who rose for us, Christ who prays for us. For to those who love God, who are called in His plan, everything works out for good. And God Himself chose them to bear the likeness of His Son, that He might be the first of many, many brothers. In the face of all this, what is there left to say? For if God is for us, who can be against us? Who can separate us from the love of Christ? Neither trouble nor pain, nor persecution. For to those who love God, who are called in His plan, everything works out for good. And God Himself chose them to bear the likeness of His Son, that they might be the first of many, many brothers. What can separate us from the love of Christ? Not the past, nor the present, nor the future. For to those who love God, who are called in His plan, everything works out for good. And God Himself chose them to bear the likeness of His Son, that they might be the first of many, many brothers.